Hey loves, I hope all is well. I hope that air conditioning is not too loud. But anyway, I'm Alice Pastel. Hey to my new subscribers, hey to my old ones, and if you have not subscribed, you don't want to miss out. So definitely subscribe. The button is right down there to your right. Red big subscribe button. You cannot miss it. If you want to make sure you get all my content as it come out, as I put it out there, make sure you hit the gray bell. Right. So today we're going to talk about the 5 love languages. I've been wanting to do this. I haven't did it. But I'm finding a little time to, do that. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a series, if I'm going to break it up, and go a little bit more in depth. But I'll let you guys decide that. So don't feel free to comment. Let me know if it's a love language that you would like for me to go into in depth, or if you would like for me to do the series on out. Right. So I hope you guys really enjoy this. So let's get to it. So I want to talk about the 5 love languages today. Some people might be familiar, some people might be a little, not as much. Some people might have never heard of the 5 love languages until now. So I'm gonna try to do a good job of introducing you guys to the love languages. So you have words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of services. Act of service. So I'm gonna use myself as an example. In order to get your love language, all you have to do is Google love languages, quiz. You find the quiz that you want to take, and you just simply take the quiz. So when I did that, this is my score. Words of affirmation at 33%. I have quality time at 27%. Acts of service at 17%. Physical touch at 13%. Receiving gifts at 10%. So, with that being said, I'm going to start with my highest, which has also happened to be the number one out of the 5 of the love languages. So, words of affirmation. So, how to communicate to a person that, love language is words of affirmation. So, with that, you encourage, you affirm, you appreciate, and you listen actively. Okay. Now, this love language requires a person to be a mature person, right? You can't be an immature person in love or relationships. You have to be very attentive to a person of this love language. This love language require a special type of attention, okay? Meaning that you have to be an active listener, okay? Meaning that you have to not only be self-aware, but you have to be aware of your environment, okay? And being adaptable is also a good nugget for you guys. You have to be adaptable with a person that has this love language, meaning that you have to be able to conform to that thing. You have to be able to pick up on the tones, on the vibration, on the frequency of where this person of interest, this relative, this platonic friendship, whatever, is on. Because this is going to be the key of how to win this person heart, or how to actively engage correctly with this person on this frequency. When I say frequency, and when I say that, I'm talking about that's the way that they can hear you. That's the way that they communicate. That's the way that they understand love, okay? And that's the way that you need to communicate to them. That's the language that you need to speak in order to get a good response from this person, or in order to make the best out of y'all situation, okay? So, we're moving along. Actions to take. You know, a few things that you can do. I mean, you can send an unexpected note. You know, text or, you know, call, card, you know what I mean? Things like that. You know, really, you need to have the gift of gab. You also need to be able to be able to be spontaneous and be creative in all in one, okay? You need to be creative. You know, it's different ways that you can affirm people. I know some people probably not good at, you know, giving speeches. That might not be your forte. I understand that, I get that, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to come up with a way that you can creatively express yourself to a person that loves words of affirmation, whether that's through music, you singing songs, whether that's through you making a little cute note, sending emojis. It's just certain things. It's certain ways of affirming a person, edifying a person, encouraging a person, you know, whatever. You know, whatever you need to do to make sure that you heard, okay? Otherwise, you ain't being heard with a person that has this love language, because they're going to feel like they're ignored, okay? So you definitely want to be mindful of this. You know, it's good, and when you start talking to a person, or when you're dealing with a person, or when you have a family member or a boss or a friend or coworker or something that you're trying to better understand, then maybe you can suggest that, hey, take this love language test. Maybe y'all can do it as a, you know, a team effort or something, you know, with one of y'all team trainings or something, meetings. Maybe you can do this to a romantic interest and be like, hey, babe, or hey, boo, whatever. Hey, love, you mind taking this quiz for me? So you can kind of see their language, so you can know if you have the ability or the capacity to fit this person's needs. Because if you don't, I'm gonna tell you here now, it's not gonna work. No matter what you do, okay? No matter what you do, if you're not speaking or communicating in a form that a person can hear you, is not gonna get across. You're not gonna be able to convey that message unless you're speaking in their exact love language. So that's the importance of the 5 love languages, so you can better understand, okay? Because like I said, it's just a blueprint. A lot of things that we do get is simply a blueprint, it's simply a guide, just like the Bible. You know, but I'm not putting it on that scale. But what I'm saying is, it's a guide to help guide you through life, right? It's a principle, you know, and at the end of the day, most principles do not change, okay? So, it's a good blueprint, and a good guide to go by, to find the person of interest or whatever it is to you, to better understand them, to see how you need to convey to them, how you need to converse with them. So, I think I was saying, oh yeah, before I got off, you cannot love a person the way that you want to love them and expect the same results. A lot of times people get in their feels, you know what that is, feelings, because they feel like a person is selfish, or they also tend to think that a person is blind, or no matter what a person do, no matter how much they try, that they're not appreciated. How can you feel this way? You can definitely feel this way to a person that has not took the time to study, to observe, and to better get an understanding of how a person communicate love-wise. You will be that person that misinterprets a person if you don't properly do the research or put the work into something. into that thing, or properly investigate or observe whatever that person, you're gonna feel like, man, ain't nothing I can do to win this girl over, nothing I can do to win this man over, or this woman over, whatever, or my mom or my dad over, because no matter what I do, they just ain't happy. You gonna see through those lenses. You're definitely gonna see through those lenses, unless you do the proper work. You put the proper time and work and effort into this thing, so you can better know how that person perceives, how they receive, how they take heed, okay? How they feel like they're being heard, right? And a lot of times, love is selfless. I know what you're thinking, right? So sometimes first you have to, of course, you need to understand yourself. You understand yourself, this ain't gonna be no issue. This is gonna be easy breezy for you, because you've already been putting in the work. You know who you are. You understand yourself. You have a good relationship with yourself, and you also have a good relationship with God. So these things are not an issue for you. You know, you have a good king sense, especially when it comes to your surroundings. You probably an empath, and you probably very in tune. Okay, so you guys are not going to have this issue. This is just, you know, probably a review for you guys. But for the people that are not easily to really take the time to put in the work, that have ran across the person that you actually have to put in the time and the work in order to get, this is for you. Okay? This is how you get that person. This is how you get whatever message, whatever language. This is how you get that across. You know, anything else is going to be foreign. And if we're not speaking the same language, then it ain't going to work. We ain't going to work. Y'all ain't going to work. They ain't going to work. Or them. Okay? We understand it. We get that. And that's why a lot of times things fail, because the proper work, the proper research has not been put in place, has not been, the person has not put in the time or the effort to properly get the results that they actually desire to get. So, with that being said, let's go back into the words of affirmation. Things that you probably want to avoid is not recognizing or appreciating effort. Okay? So meaning, if I'm a person of words of affirmation 9 out of 10, I'm going to give you the same love that the way that I want to get it. 9 out of 10, that's the way I'm going to give it to you. And that's what you really have to be careful of, because the same thing that I just told you to pay attention to in order to pick up on what's a person's love language will be the same thing to get you in trouble, because you'll be trying to love a person from your love language and not theirs. I hope y'all hear me on that one. So meaning, what do I mean by that? You can't give a person of words of affirmation that is a person that has the love language of receiving gifts. You cannot treat them the same. That's not going to work out for you. I can't tell you that I like for you giving me stuff. You giving me stuff, buying gifts, buying trips, you know, timeshares, whatever. You know, taking me on trips, all that stuff. You can't give that person words of affirmation and think that that's gonna satisfy that person. That is not, because that person has already told you. Because if you like to receive gifts, then you all about the thoughtfulness. Make a interest, a love interest, or whoever, a priority. Okay, what you're gonna do? You're gonna give them thoughtful gifts and gestures. You know, you're gonna express gratitude when, by giving those gifts, right? When receiving gifts, that's how you know, when you get things given to you, a gift to you, you feel loved, you know, which is deemed to be true, because, you know, most kings or queens or whatever, people of royalty, prophets, whatever, you know, people with great gifts, evangelists, whatever, they usually be, you know, be gifted a lot. You know what I mean? People come to them with gifts. You know, but like I said, everybody not on the same level. You know, all of us ain't. You don't have to give me a. You don't have to buy me an Apple watch because I can do that myself. You don't have to do all that extra stuff because I got that. Okay, not to say that you know you ain't got to do that. You know, because I appreciate that. You know, anything is. You know, I'm always be appreciative of. But what I'm saying is that when you're dealing with the words of affirmation person versus a person that loves to receive gift, you cannot treat them the same. You cannot mistake that, because that means that that person is not going to feel love or not going to feel heard because you talking. You know what I mean? Like, you talking about stuff. You, excuse me, you sending, you know, texts and stuff or calls, and they really would prefer for you to send some flowers. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, flowers, you know, you can find some cheap flowers. You can really find some pretty cheap flowers at, you know, Kroger's for $1.99, $2.99, like less than the meal that you didn't just went and got at McDonald's off the dollar menu. You know, that hot and spicy or that double Mac double, whatever you like, and them fries and that large Coke. Hey, you could have bought her some flowers with. You know what I mean? So, I mean, she ain't gonna take too kindly, you know, after so much, or he, you know, all them texts and all them calls, and you ain't doing nothing. So that's just something to be mindful of, and you gonna think, oh man, I'm always giving this person attention through my words, you know, through affirming her or him, that I like him, I love him or her, you know, and, you know, always, you know, I'm always, you know, speaking it to them, but that ain't their language, okay? So you might need to hold that off for, you know, that might work better for your ex, or it might work better for somebody else down the road, and it might have been good for your daddy or your mama, but she ain't your mama. She not already told you that she's about that, you know, receiving gifts, so you just gotta, you know, learn to adapt. And if you can afford that, to give her that, you know, whether that's acts of service, because that's what we're about to jump into now. If you can afford to do the acts of service, okay, or give her the physical touch that she's longing for, if you can afford that, then you give that. But if you can't, that's why it's very important to diagnose that thing early, evaluate that, and you determine early on if you're willing to give that, if you're willing to pay that price to keep that person in your space, you know, or to stay on the same journey as that person. Do you have the energy of the time to give that person what it is they got, that they're longing for, or the way that they, or to love that person in the way, at their capacity? Because you might not have the capacity to love somebody from how they need to be loved. So when you do that early on, you can look over the conflict, the issues, the drama, the cussing and the fussing, all that extra stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you can always have a good, clean, healthy, holistic relationship with a person when you understand it on the front end and it's understood at the front end, and you can just do just that. Okay? So, not only this, so let's go into the acts of service. How to communicate with a person like that. Let them know you are wanting to help, to lighten their load, you know? Some of us, you gotta show us, you know what I mean? Like, show me you love me. Like, wash them dishes, you know? Run me some bell water. You know, not to say you a slave or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, certain things, you know, massage my feet, you know, like, give me a back rub, whatever rub y'all like. We all got all different type of rubs we like, you know. Ain't nothing wrong with rub-a-dub-dub. But y'all get my drift. Whatever a person like, you know, if this, you know, put a light bulb up for me, cut the yard, you know, now the stuff that, let me say this because I know what y'all thinking. Some of this stuff, this Negro should already be doing anyway, right? And I agree. I agree. You know what I'm saying? And I be like, how you want praises for stuff that you already should be doing? Right? But you have to understand when you're dealing with a person that loves, that want to receive love in a certain way, then you need to make sure you are farming that thing. That you saying, I appreciate that. Right? Because you're also, when a person is giving you this, don't forget it, communication is a two-way. So don't just be getting this love, right? Getting your love, don't just be getting spoke to and you ain't speaking back. What do I mean? That you need to make sure that you let a person know that you appreciate them, and you let them know you appreciate them through your mouth and through your actions. Not just one or the other. You need to show both. Because a lot of times we say things, but we do other things. So you need to make sure that your communication is not confusing and that you're giving them the proper communication back so they continue to feed you in the way that they need to feed you, okay? So, with that being said, before I just went down that rabbit hole, when it comes to that, you want to be able to speak back to a person and let them know, hey, I appreciate you. I see everything that you're doing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being attentive to my needs. I appreciate that. And you give them their love back. Okay? And if there's whatever, acts of service, then you do that. But things that you want to avoid, right? I mean, before we get to the things that you want to avoid, let's see how you take action on the acts of service. So you might make breakfast, dinner, go out your way to help with chores, things you probably should already be doing anyway. So that, to me, that's easy right there. That's scapegoat, okay? So, unless you lazy. So things that you want to avoid is lacking following through or small and large tasks. Do not, okay? If you want to show a person that has the love language of act of service that you don't love them, don't follow through. Don't be reliable. Don't be responsible. Then you just showing that person you like middle fingers up to you. I don't care about how you feel, what you think, what you want. Okay? So be mindful of that because you don't want to traumatize this person. Not too many times anyway, because, hey, they ain't gonna trust you. And they like, man, how can I love a person I don't trust? Because no matter how they show me this, yeah, you already showed me you. And when, like Maya Angelou said it best, when a person show you who they are, believe them. When a person tell you that they cannot be what you need them to be, believe them. What do I mean by that? When they show you they cannot love you from their capacity or the way that you need, okay? I ain't gonna say that you see fit, but the way that you need to be loved, then they showing you that. When they show you that, you leave them alone. Believe them. Believe, hey, he already showing me he can't love me from the way that I need love. He don't have the capacity. He don't have the means. He can't afford me. I'm too costly. I'm too expensive. He can't give me his time. And that's what I want out of all things. I want his time. And he can't give me that. We can't vibe. We ain't working out. We ain't gonna work out. Because that's what I want. And that's what you're gonna have to pay in order to get me. Right? Whether it's the man or the woman. So you have to hear this stuff, right? That's why it's very important to be attentive on all these things. You need to know what you're up against when you're dealing with a love interest or when you're dealing with a person that you're trying to win over, okay? Like I said, whether that's a boss, co-worker, whoever you're trying to woo. So, quality time. I love me some quality time, y'all. But what I will say, too, about this, too, you have to be a little careful with this one because some of us that love quality time, we love it to a certain extent, but at the same time, we also, this person that loves quality time also is a person, too, that is mature, okay, I say, let me separate that, because you got some immature people that are very codependent and they just clingy. Ugh. I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth from their clinginess and from their codependency. It's unhealthy and it's toxic, okay? But a person that's mature, right, that would be more so of an introvert anyway, needs that space, right? Needs space to refuel, to be rejuvenated, to feel rejuvenated, to just reload, okay? So that person, you just follow the speed of that person. You follow the speed of that person, and that person will kind of tell you about, will kind of give you the moves that you need to make, right? So it just varies regardless the person that you're dealing with, on whether or not how you move with it. So let me try to hurry up and wrap this up. I'm gonna have to do another video because it's getting so long. But when you're dealing with a person with quality time is uninterrupted and focused conversations. One-on-one time is important. The connection in this is very important. This person, quality time is about the connection. You don't always have to be skin to skin, okay, in order to get this quality time. It could be on phone, it could be FaceTime. We have many ways you can get this quality time, you know, via whatever, you know, just make sure you're getting the proper time. But it varies by that person. It varies on who you're dealing with, how they prefer to get it, okay? Actions to take. You create special moments, take walks, and do small things with your partner. Things that you want to avoid is distractions when spending time together, long time without one-on-one time, okay? So, with that being said, when you're dealing with a person with quality time, you have to give them their time. You need to figure out, it's all about a collaboration, okay? You need to know how that person likes their time. What's acceptable and what's not. Because otherwise, if they're not getting it, they do not feel love. And it's something is going to be wrong. They're going to have an issue with, regardless of what you do on here, okay? Give them words of affirmation. What else? We just talked about acts of service. You can do all you want to do, okay? You can buy them things. That's the worst thing you can do, is try to buy them try to buy their time, buy their love, instead of giving them the time. Don't cheat them. Please do not cheat this person that has this love language, whether it's the first or it's one of the two on there, which that's my second one on there. But you definitely don't want to cheat this person out of that. Oh, whew, you don't. So y'all, I'm finna wrap this up. I'm gonna do a part 2. Y'all be good.